Addiction doesn't just hurt the person struggling, it affects everyone connected to them. Today, we're having a real talk about the side of addiction most people don't talk about: the emotional damage, the unsafe situations, and the risk that comes with trying to help someone who isn't ready to get help. This isn't about judging or blaming anyone. Addiction is real and recovery is possible. But ignoring the impact on families, partners, and loved ones can lead to serious consequences. If you're struggling or if you're loving someone who is, this message is for you. Awareness, boundaries, and support can save lives, sometimes more than one. Let's walk and let's talk. Also, I apologize in advance for the impact that the wind had on the audio in this video. Addiction is real. It kills, steals, and destroys. What's up, everybody? It's the gambler. Out for another walk and another talk. And we're talking about addiction. This is a funny one subject to talk about for me. And I probably, to sense how I'm feeling about it, I've got some hesitation, anxiety around talking about it that I'm feeling right now. And that's probably because addiction hits close to home for me. For some reason, I don't want to talk about it. And if I don't want to talk about it, what that's telling me is that I need to talk about it. What got me on this subject, I'm sure you all heard about and his wife, tragic, and speculations, and they're only speculations until it's went through a trial and all of that good stuff, or bad stuff, however you look at it. And everybody's innocent till proven guilty. So it's only speculation may have done that. Only speculation. So I'm going to just speak on speculation. That one hit really hard. One, that's some sad news. Very, very sad news. But his public persona that I saw was that he was an amazing, beautiful spirit. That's the celebrity that I saw. But to talk about addiction, what do we say about it? It affects us so much. And so many of us deal with it in one way or another. We may deal with it ourselves individually. Some of us may suffer from an addiction. We may have family members that are struggling with the addiction. We may have friends and family members that work as outreach, work for or work with outreach programs to help people with addiction. And those are just some ways of how it can touch our lives, or our lives being impacted by addiction. But what's so crazy about it is you can get so caught up in what your loved ones are dealing with and how much you love them and how much you want to help them, that sometimes we don't see or we can ignore the warning signs or the danger that comes with addiction. I would lean over on the side of we just don't see it because we're in the midst of those of us that are the loved ones dealing with someone that is dealing with or fighting an addiction. We so caught up in trying to help our loved ones that we don't see the dangers of dealing with the person that has the addiction and how dangerous it can be or become. And sometimes love is so powerful that you don't care about the dangers. You just focused on that person that you love and how you want to help them. And in most cases, in many cases, sometimes we don't see at the immediate time that we could be putting ourselves in harm's way. But I would say, I'm not a parent, but I know how much my mom and my dad love me. So I could understand and relate to the love that a parent has for a child. And to see a child struggle with addiction. And we all know there are so many different types of addictions. Drug addiction, sex addiction, alcohol addiction, gambling addiction. It's so many. I mean, anything that can cause harm to you and that you can't control that addiction, or you can't control that urge and you keep doing it, it could easily be called an addiction. So there's a lot of different types of addiction. My heart just breaks for family. And it breaks for him and his wife to have such a tragic end. And to think that addiction may have been in the realm of that picture. I can't say it was because, like I said, I don't know much about the case or what's going on with the case. I can only speculate and look at what's on the news and what's being reported. But I just really feel sorry for them, for their family. And I could just imagine loving a child and doing everything you can to help them deal with that addiction. I had to adjust my hood here. This wind is heavy. What could I say? I would just say to you all to pray. Pray for your family members and friends. If you have someone that is dealing or struggling with an addiction, pray for them. Pray for your family and your friends and yourself to have strength to help them in any way that you can. To be able to help them. Because it's a tough thing. Right now, people in the very moment are dealing with addiction that's impacting their family and friends. Someone they love is dealing with an addiction. Or someone
they love is caring for, supporting someone that has an addiction. And I started this talk with, this was a tough one for me because my childhood growing up was in a household with addiction. My father had an alcohol addiction. And I like to think that I had a happy childhood. And I had a lot of good childhood memories. But we dealt with addiction in our household. My dad's alcohol addiction. Now, I thank God that he was able to get freed from that addiction and was able to live the other half of his life not having to deal with that addiction. But I know my upbringing life in the household, dealing with his alcohol addiction, it was tough. It was real tough. I don't even know if you could find the words for a child being terrified of a parent. But at the same breath, a child loving a parent. That's probably the same feeling that a parent has of loving a child that has an addiction. It's probably that same fear and probably that same love. I don't know if I'm gonna get through this video because this talk because I don't even know if it's gonna be made public or if I will be able to release this one or pull this one together because it's just sad. Addiction is sad. If you out there and you're struggling with an addiction, and a lot of times if you have an addiction, you probably may be in two places. You may be either in denial or acknowledgement. You're going to be in one or the other. You're going to be acknowledging that you got a problem, or you're going to be denying that you have a problem. But I would say to any of you that's struggling with an addiction, and if you're in either one of those places, ask somebody for help. If you're in either one of those places, ask them for help. If you in denial and don't think that you have an addiction, still ask them for help. It can't hurt nothing. I might think I need you to help me. I don't think I have this addiction, but just in case I have this addiction, can you help me? Ask somebody for help. And then you might say, well, who do I ask for help? How do I know who to ask for help? I mean, really, Tony? Duh. Who do you go to and ask? Okay, I smoke. Ooh, can you help me with that? Do I just walk up to somebody and say that? Or do I walk up to a family member and say, hey, I could take out a whole bottle of Jack Daniels uh, all day. I take out like 3-4 bottles of Jack Daniels. Can you help me with that? Can you help me with that? No, I'm not saying do it like that. I know you can't just walk up to somebody and say, can you help me with my crack addiction? Can you help me with cocaine addiction? What I'm saying is anybody that's around you that love you, you can ask them for help. They may not know how to help you. They may not know where to help you, but it's a start. It's a start. They may be able to go and find somebody. They may be able to give you a phone number to a hotline. It's a start. You may not even want the help, but it's a start. So if anybody out there that feels that you have an addiction and you're on either side of those, if you're denying that you have the addiction or that you acknowledge and know that you have addiction and need help, just ask somebody for help. Just say, can you help me? Even if you don't know if they can help you. And I understand that it may need to be somebody that you trust, because it is a sensitive subject and it's exposing yourself. So don't take picking that person lightly that you're going to ask for help. Think about who you're going to ask. Put together your plan. And the first part in your plan is, who do I ask for help? And find that person that you're going to ask. And then just say those 3 simple words. Well, it wasn't 3. Can you help me? Okay, 4. 4 simple words. Can you help me? And they probably going to say, help you with what? And you can just say, help me with my addiction. Even if you don't want to tell them what the addiction is, help them with, can you help me with my addiction? And start there. Now that's for a person who's dealing with addiction. Now for the people who are associated or love the person with the addiction, you need to do the same thing. If you don't know, you need to find someone that you trust the same way and ask them, can you help me? Can you help me find somebody that could help me deal with, cope with, handle my loved one that's struggling and going through and dealing with an addiction? Can you help me? Can you help me find somebody that can help me? If you can't help me, that's where we start. On both sides of those, that's where we start. Now, on either one of those sides, if you like how I was when I grew up in a household with addiction being present, in my household, and even in my realm of my neighborhood and my growing up, there was no such thing as, can you help me? There was nobody to go to and say, can you help me? One, I grew up in a family where you didn't talk about the addiction. So there was no way you were going to ever get to asking somebody for help. You didn't even acknowledge the addiction, even though it would be right there, prevalent episodes. It was just like ignored, like it didn't exist. Even though there was trauma and continuous trauma, probably every weekend. Probably would say every weekend. It wasn't during the week because he worked and provided for his family. But come Friday, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, it was the weekend. But we grew up where there was no help. There was nobody to ask. We just had to live through it, pray through it, and deal with it. And trust God for the help. And I imagine that's probably who my mom asked for help. I'm sure of it. I'm sure I asked him for help. I'm sure my siblings asked him for help. And I'm sure my dad, I'm almost 100% sure, asked him for help. Because it had to be God that delivered him from it. So ask God as well for help. And if you don't believe in God or don't have a God, that's fine too. Ask whoever you just feel you can get help from. Ask them. But what don't do, what not to do, and what we need to stop doing is ignoring. Stop ignoring these people and their addictions. Stop acting like it don't exist. Stop acting like it's not an addiction. If you have somebody that you are close with, a loved one, and if you see them constantly drinking, chasing it with a Red Bull, drinking, chasing it with a Red Bull, drinking, day after day after day, and you don't think they have something going on, some type of problem. Okay, let's not say it's an addiction. We won't call it addiction. But something is not right. Something is not right if you drinking, and so you could drink some more. You drink Red Bull, and then you drink some more and drink some more. Some ain't right in that picture. Some ain't. It ain't right. So stop acting like a problem doesn't exist. Start open your eyes and just care a little bit more. But also at the same time, be careful when dealing with people that are struggling with an addiction or that are afflicted with an addiction. Be careful. Because what we tend to forget, it can be very dangerous. Very dangerous. So be careful. I think that's all I'm gonna say for now. It's just stop ignoring your loved ones. Help them when you can. If you're struggling with addiction, ask somebody for help. If you're dealing with somebody that's going through addiction and you don't know what to do, ask somebody for help. And lastly, be careful if you're dealing with someone that's struggling with addiction, to make sure that you be careful and to help keep yourself out of harm's way, because it can be dangerous and it can lead. And with dealing with addiction, you don't know who or what life that will be. We always tend to think that it's the one that's dealing with the addiction, their life, but sometimes it can end up being you, the person that's trying to help them. It can be your life. So take care and be careful. And that's gonna be all that I can say about addiction. If I wrap up and sum that up about my growing up and my experience with addiction, and you guys you've seen some of my videos, you know that I love my daddy and praise my daddy and laugh and joke about my daddy. But that was a dark side that we dealt with, and a thing that he struggled with. And yes, he got victory and was freed of that, thank God. And yes, we survived that, my family member and I, and friends. And I think that's why talking about the subject is very difficult for me, because one, it's a negative connotation around addiction. Even if you're not the one that had the addiction, even if you somewhat associated with that, there's a negative connotation around it and negative feelings. So that's probably why this subject is sort of tough for me to talk about, and I struggle to talk about it. I don't even know what the point I was going to make with it, but anywho, just try to get help. And I'm gonna wrap this talk up, this walk up with I appreciate you guys. If you got value from this video, if you didn't get value from this video, hit the like, subscribe, comment. I really would appreciate it. And I am going to see you guys on the other side of another video. Love you guys.